Libertads, baby, please, on the daily. Today we are talking the 1986 Unta Libertad. Stay tuned. So let's take a look where the 1986 ranks in terms of mintage and total graded population for NGC and PCGS. So we've covered thus far 82, 83, 84. Last video was 85 and we were at 86 right now. 1986 at just slightly under 1.7 million in terms of mintage and graded population. NGC we got almost 1,500 and PCGS just over 1,000. One can question the mintage given the trend we've been seeing in terms of graded populations. So for the 82 through 84, they're at about 1 million. And on the NGC side, you have thousands graded. And PCGS trending towards 2,000 each per year of graded population. But oddly enough, for 86, a coin of 1.7 million mintage, you're only at about 1,500 NGC population and just slightly above 1,000 for PCGS. So it does make you wonder, is that really the true mintage? Did they melt some? There's always the possibility that somebody out there has these in mass storage or whatnot. We don't know. And like I mentioned last time around, we don't have line of sight. We don't have clarity into that. Unfortunately, Banco de Mexico is not transparent with that information. So this is a graphic that came from my first video on the channel. It's pretty neat in terms of putting a bunch of data elements all together on one graphic. What you're seeing is the mintage in the black dashed line. That's the mintage per year, at least the quote-unquote official published mintage by Banco de Mexico. The bars, you have a blue bar representing total NGC graded population and the red bar representing the total PCGS graded population. And then you have solid lines, blue line being the top pops in terms of ratio of all graded coins. For the blue is NGC, so in essence, how many 69s and 70s, and of the total, how many do they represent? And then the red line is PCGS top grades, 69 and 70. Of the total graded, how many do they represent? What I wanted to point out is the mintage, the divergence in the quote-unquote official published mintages and what the graded total population seems to suggest. So last time around, we pointed out that to me, 1985 is the true top mintage. You got the mintage, the black line way up here, and the total graded population of NGC is way up there, and a sizable graph on the PCGS side. And I contrasted that to 1992. And why did I do that? Because Banco de Mexico says 1992 as supposedly the highest mintage of any year. But if you check out how many are graded, it's so low. It's comparable to other truly rare mintage years. So it makes you question, one, did they melt coins and they were not released? Or two, is there maybe some concentrated collectors who are just holding on to a lot of them? There's been evidence of different Mexican numismatics where they have indeed proved that coins have been melted. And 1992 is an interesting year because 1992 was right around the year when they were preparing for the first. They've released the first coins of the pre-Columbian series, series I hope to talk about in future videos. So it's interesting to me that's the allegedly highest mintage year, and they started minting pre-Columbian silver coins at the same time. So yeah, and then now we're currently talking about 1986, and 1986 mintage should be way up here. But look at the graded population. You'd expect for such a high mintage to have bars at least as big as 82, 83, 84 in terms of graded coins, but it's a little lower than that and much lower than 1985. So it does make you question as well the official mintage number for 1986. I always like to quickly review the NGC population report just to give us a little more information on the distribution of grades. So just about 1,500 graded for 1986. One thing I have not mentioned in prior videos, there's another designation out there. You'll see it named MSPL. The PL stands for Prooflike. And essentially, I don't have any on hand, so I can't really demonstrate it for you. But the planchette on which the coin was minted, instead of being like a very matte finish, it's more of a proof-like finish. It's not exactly a proof coin. It doesn't have the exact mirror richness to it, but it's mirror-like, and hence the term proof-like. There's a high premium on those. Those seem to be very rare. For the going prices that are out there, it never really tickled my fancy. But that is what MSPL stands for, or the proof-likes. So 86, we almost have 1,500 on the NGC side. And if we look at the distribution here, their highest grade, the quote-unquote highest grade, they call it the top pop. That's the term they call for the highest existing grade. Shockingly, after having seen 7 69s for 1985, and I questioned those, there are none for 1986, but you have 14 68s, 194 67s, and then the most frequent one is the 66. So if you're just looking to build up this set and you like to have it in a slabbed collection, this is the grade I'd recommend, and you probably get a very good price on this. We have not talked previously about these star designations and plus designations. These basically, the coins have some sort of visual effect that makes it aesthetically pleasing in one way or another. But I think NGC, more so than PCGS, is reluctant to give these. That's why you're seeing very low single digits on these. So things like toned coins or coins that have some type of visual appeal, but some type of toning is typically what draws the interest of getting that grade. I've become cognizant ever since I started collecting Mexican coins in 2021, and I think the grading companies are a little more cognizant of it too. I think there's a lot of folks that are playing games with the coins, artificially toning them in some way, because just the number I'd see on eBay, on the Facebook groups, all types of social media sites where folks are looking to buy, sell, and trade, the numbers just keep increasing. I'm seeing a higher frequency of toned coins, and I'm hearing a lot of folks getting grades from NGC claiming artificial toning of the coin. It wouldn't shock me. I'm not really sure if they can tell when a coin naturally tones versus artificially toned, but from my sense of the supply and demand dynamics on the market, I really think people are cooking / baking coins and giving them tone from the comfort of their own home. I wanted to highlight this data source for you in case you're interested. I've mentioned it before for one of the earlier years, but in Reddit, in the subreddit Libertadcoins, at some point, if you look up my old posts, I had made one post per year making references to that year's graded coins and talking about the trends. I have previously in a little notebook, kind of when I started in 2021, how many, for example, how many 1986 1 ounce Libertads had been graded by NGC, and it was 434 that year. The next time I wrote things down, it was 2023. They were up to 731. And the snapshot I have of 2025 is 4 months old now. As you could see up here, it says 4 months ago. And it was 1,269. And as you just saw in the NGC current population report, they're at about 1,500. So I won't waste too much time talking about these in the future, but this is definitely a good source if you just want to gather up general graded trend ideas. And then I talk about what the highest grade is and how many in that grade. And you know, this video couldn't be complete without taking a look at the coin. We're on the reverse side, angel's face. We like to start. And let's go take a look at 1 onza. There you are. Pretty good strike. Let's take a look at the lettering. Okay. Let's go to the bottom. Got it twisted here. And there's some, you could say there's some mild, very mild double dyeing there. Moving along Mexico. Mild double dyeing there on the O of Mexico. That's okay. And let's take at Plata Pura. So the 85, funny thing, the 85 was a 68. This is a 67. And if you just take a look back at that last video, the plata, the word plata looked like a hot mess. And they handed it at 68. But like I said, with grading inflation, they're just handing out high grades like hotcakes. And I think it's bifurcated in nature where the bulk submissions from the big dealers, they're getting the high grades because retail folks like myself and others, they're being a lot harsher with the grading. So it's a strange dynamic. But yeah, I mean, if someone pesters them enough, it reminds me of that meme with the security guard. I'm going to try to add it in here, figure out a way to get a laugh where if you just start pestering them for a double dye, they just might give it to you. They might give you that designation. It's just some money in their pockets, right? But yeah, this is how things look on their magnification. Thanks for checking out this video on the 1986 Onza Libertad. Stay tuned. We got a couple of interesting years coming up with the 87, 88, 89, all types of double dye designations that I actually handed out. Stay tuned.